Good morning. How are we doing, everybody? I'm here. I'm doing it. Everybody party. I think the most interesting part of this show is I do not think about what I'm going to say at all. I just focus on whatever the topic of the day is. I'll listen to a few random news stories, apply what I went through yesterday and the things I saw yesterday to the show today. Well, I saw a lot of TikTok issues and just arguments back and forth from both sides of the aisle. A lot of the Instagram, Twitter war stuff. I spent some time messing around with my social media on the alternate platforms yesterday, seeing what the arguments are, and I've noticed just a blanket conformity to certain arguments across all social platforms. I've noticed with like conservatives and maybe more moderate liberals, you've got there's an openness, a kind of gray. We'll talk about it, this, that, or the other. Let's see which way we can go with this conversation. But then as you get to the extremes of the left, less so with the extremes from the right, because even the extreme right seem to be much more willing to have conversations these days, whereas you get over to the more extreme left and they're all fire and brimstone and will burn you down, burn you to the ground if you don't do everything they want you to do. So I feel like they've kind of already lost their own battle. I feel like it's probably okay for everybody to move on at this point. Just let it fizzle until it dies. There's a particular like kind of energy that has to go into a political movement that is supported by so few, that is a minority thing. And I'm also not specifically saying which one it is, because there's a couple and it's not necessarily the one you're thinking of. But that being said, if your ideology is one thing, and then you see people under your same umbrella acting crazy, then that probably means that they're just saying that they're part of your group. Don't let people with bad opinions and who are just making things up lump you into a group with them. Like, be certain about what you believe. Be sure about the things that you're defending, and don't let somebody who thinks that, like, well, that's not socially acceptable, what about people who don't have legs, like, don't let people like that get in your way. Like, try to work with them, and if they will not work with you, move on. That's all you can do. But do not stop your process and the things and people that you're helping because minority X wants to run their mouth about how you aren't giving enough to their group. Like, that's what they're all going to do. They're all going to do that. You could be completely based on gathering money for their group, and they're still going to tell you it's not enough. Just give to the people that appreciate it. And usually, and this one does apply to the extreme right, usually the extremes of any party are not your friend and will hurt you to get what they want done. So think about that before you support them and you're so willing to jump into their camp and go and riot and act crazy and start involving children in adult affairs or whatever it may be. Just remember what you believe and don't let people try to bully you out of it. They gotta have logic, they gotta have facts, they gotta have reason, they've gotta have a lot of things that they aren't showing you, so you don't have to believe them until they do.